Hello. Now we're going to add in another frame and we're going to put some text within that frame, and instead of having a single entry line we're going to have multiple lines, so we're going to be pretty close to the actual size of the final state. And then I'm going to want to be able to display that description when I click on the submit button, so I need to be able to retrieve multiple lines from there. So the first thing to do is a lot of copying and pasting, so let's create ourselves another frame. So this will be frame 4, and I need to change the colour of that one just so we can identify it, and the heights of those, therefore I've got 6 of those, so those are going to be 80 each within the height. And for the grids, so I want those to be proportional, the information in there. So you can see it's much easier when I said when you've created the first one, if you kind of lay these out nicely, then it's very easy then to just do the other ones and just make the changes to the names and sometimes the rows within these, and of course don't forgetting the follow-on rows. Don't need to worry about the columns, but we'll just do it anyway. And position frames, again, the name of the frame and the row number. 4 for the frame, 4, 5 within there. Okay, let's see how that looks. Yeah, you notice actually I'd set the logo at the top, the save art down, so it's kind of the right size for the space that would be within there. I've got my instructions, file name, I've got a blank frame there for my 4, then my buttons. So let's put the information therefore in that last one. That's going to be pretty close to some of the others, isn't it? So in effect, let's just do a bit of a copy and paste. So let's take the frame 3 and then Control C that one, and then before the footer, give yourself a few lines and then paste it in. Let's give it a name. Just check I'm in the right place. Yep, that's okay. So frame 4. I'm not going to worry about changing the rest of the information. We know roughly what we're dealing with. So frame 4, label 4, my entry 4. I'll leave it at that entry box for now. I'll come and change it in a bit, and we'll say enter file description. So just want to basically make sure that kind of works the way I'd expect it to work, and then obviously I want to position that label and that entry box within my frame. Yeah, okay, so I enter file description and just a single line entry box, which is great, but I want to have multiple lines. If I put the return key in, it doesn't seem to do anything, so I can't even see if I can get that onto another line. So let's just quit that off. Right, the way I can do that is basically instead of putting in an entry, I'm going to create a thing called a text, and it'll define the character width, but also will give the number of lines that we'll have within here. So I'm going to change that from my entry to my text. Just I'll leave it as 4, kind of anchors it in within the frame number. So I've got 2 my underscore text 4s, and I don't want that to be an entry, I now want that to be a text. It's pretty much the same information, except it can also take in a height here, and these are the number of lines. So 3 fits within that space, 4 won't quite fit in with that point size. Well, I now want to grab the information from that, so let's just make sure that looks fine. Yeah, that looks okay, so I can put those 3 different lines, put some data within there quite happily, click on submit. Obviously it doesn't do anything, so let's make sure I can pick that up, which isn't as straightforward as it is with the entry boxes. So let's put that information first of all into a variable, so text underscore description, and I'm going to get an error within this, but it's going to give us some clue within the error as what the problem will be. So let's change that to being text 4. I don't want you to think I've just made a typo with this one, so let's just go down to there and we'll highlight there, my underscore text 4, Control C, go up here, let's highlight that and Control V. Yep, so it is the correct name. I'm not going to do anything because it's going to come up with an error, so I won't bother about putting it down into the print. And then try and click on the submit, so it comes up with this error. So let's just quit out of this. It comes up with an error because it has a problem with my text. It says required positional argument, so it needs to know which bit of text you want to go and grab. So in effect we just need to give it an argument, or a couple of arguments actually within here. I have to say, okay, where I want to start the retrieving and when I want to stop it. So to start, bizarrely is 1.0. So first line 0 character possibly. I want to keep going until I get to the end. Actually, it's not quite to the end, as we'll see when we do that. Is at the end there's an extra character return. So let's just lay out the prints in here so I can see these correctly. And I'll change the file name there to file description. And where I've got text underscore name there, I want to say text underscore description there. Okay, so that should roughly what we're wanting to do. So let's say I've got the path, I've got the name, and here I've got the description. Okay, when I click on submit, you'll see it gives me those, but notice there's an extra couple of lines after description. And what it's done, in fact, it's included after the word description, it's included the carriage return. So I want to say, I don't want to go to the end, I want to go to be back one character. I frequently forget to put the last bit in here. It has to be C for character, so -1 character within there. Okay, so let's see how that works. Let's go in here, file path, file name, and then description, file description. Within this, when I click on submit, it should then give me, return those values without an extra line. Okay, nice and easy to do, isn't it? Right, thank you for listening.